Well, Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has urged the World Bank to increase its intervention in projects being run in the state with a focus on the education sector. He made this request while speaking with delegates from the financial institution at the government house in Awka, the capital. The leader of the delegation commended the state governor's efforts so far.
We work in a state in which there is a governance system. That is, governance means the state that is using its own resources, even without any help from anybody, to use its own resources to deliver better results for its own people. So what we are doing is really to complement your effort. So what we have been trying to do all over in this project is to focus on results. That is on the learning outcomes and what difference we are going to make.
We are on the same page with respect to this program. So education is a key enabler. And the way we approach education here is on threefold. First on the infrastructure, then on the pupil students, and of course on the teachers. So that gives us a better focus instead of putting all of them more basket and get some confusion.
Now to neighboring state, the British government says it is ready to invest in Delta State and assist the state to develop its potentials. British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Peter Carter, who met with the Delta State Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan, in Asaba, the state capital, said the United Kingdom is encouraged by the infrastructural development and incentives put in place by the state government.
It all started with a tour to various infrastructural projects in Asaba and its environs. Led by a team of government officials, the British Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Peter Carter, was taking round, beginning with the Asaba International Airport to the flyover bridge at the Interbao roundabout under construction, to the new waste management recycling plant at Ibuza. This was followed by an in-house meeting the next day at the Government House Exco Chamber, where issues concerning the partnership between the UK and Delta State government were thoroughly deliberated on. Mr. Carter said that British businessmen and women, as well as the British Council, will be delighted to invest in the state, and that the United Kingdom has a role to play in growing the partnership between Delta State, the UK, and the private sector for the mutual benefit of the state and his country.
I was also very impressed to see the waste incinerator project, which I know will make a significant difference to waste management in the state, will contribute to power generation, and again will create employment.
Governor Uduaghan, on his part, is asking the British government to show more interest in developing the economy of Delta State.
It cannot be that bad that the Chinese and Indians are taking over our economy when our traditional friends seem not to be very active. We hope that we can build on it so that the areas in which you have the comparative advantage, we can build on it.
Outside the government house, Mr. Carter was shown the state microcredit scheme on poverty alleviation, mainly agricultural produce, with beneficiaries displaying their various wares. As the British Deputy High Commissioner takes his leave, he has the assurance of the Delta State government that potential investors from the UK can do business without fears of insecurity.
Hello and welcome to Business News. I am Adeshewa Josh. As the National Bureau of Statistics prepared to release the May inflation numbers this weekend, Financial Derivatives Company Limited is forecasting that the headline inflation rate will remain unchanged at 7.9%. Nigeria's headline inflation has been below 8% and within the CBN's target of 6 to 9% in 2014. The company says its projection of a relatively stable inflation rate is mainly due to the early crop harvest and favorable weather conditions. The economic experts also anticipate resurgence in year-on-year inflation in the next few months, owing to increase in prices of new cars, disbursement of capital vote, and steady growth in money supply. Meanwhile, yields on Nigeria's bills are seen mixed at an auction next week, as strong investor demand is expected only at the short end of the curve. Nigeria plans to issue about 168.28 billion naira in treasury bills on Thursday. And traders say there has been mixed activity in the market this week because of initial profit taking and later increased interest from offshore investors attracted to the shorter dated paper. Yields were also mixed at the bond auction this week, with 3-year paper sold at a higher yield, while that on the 10-year paper fell compared to their previous auctions. Meanwhile, the interbank lending rates climbed to an average of 10.87% this week from 10.5% last week, after payment for bond purchases sucked liquidity out of the banking system. Nigeria issued 85.17 billion naira in 3-year and 10-year bonds, putting pressure on available cash deposits. The cash balance that lenders hold at the central bank fell to a surplus of 349 billion naira on Friday, compared with 535 billion naira a week earlier. The open buyback rose to 10.75%, compared with 10.25% and 1.25 percentage points below the central bank's benchmark rate of 12%. Overnight placement rose to 11% this week from 10.5% last week, and dealers say the Financial Market Dealers Association abolished call money. We're trading now between overnight placement and open buyback, backed by treasury bills. Listed companies in the Nigerian stock market appear to be increasing their appetite for more funds, and this is because of the increasing rate of rights issue at the moment. Currently, Unity Bank PLC is raising 19.22 billion naira through this means. Yet another bank, Diamond, on Friday submitted its application for raising 50.4 billion naira of over 8 billion ordinary shares. Stockbrokers explain that the market is experiencing this increase because the appetite for primary market deals is low.
A right issue is simply raising shares from existing shareholders. So these are shareholders that have been with the company over time. They must have experience when the company is doing well, when the company is doing bad. So if the company now said, okay, you are owners, we need funds to improve our operations, to give you better returns. Of course, the first port of call will be the existing shareholders. So that is why you are seeing most of these banks now using right issue to raise money. If you look at the price, any right issue, most of the time they come at what we call at a discount, lower than what the price of that equity is doing right now. I'm very sure Diamond Bank is trading quite above 6 naira, and the right issue price is 5 naira 80 kobo. Okay, so that is another incentive for the investor. For the public offers, investors' appetite for public offers in the Nigerian market for now is still very, very low. But we believe with time, we'll begin to see more of IPOs coming to the market.
And here is a recap of trading activities at the Nigerian equities market this week. A turnover of 2.7 billion shares worth 22.1 billion naira in 26,074 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 1.8 billion shares valued at 32.9 billion naira that was exchanged last week. Well, the NSE All Share Index appreciated to close at 41,517.1, down 0.03%. The market capitalization was also down by 0.03% at 13.709 trillion naira. 4 of the NSE indices appreciated during the week, with the exception of the NSE Consumer Goods Index. That's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
Well, next on the news at 10, Super Eagles of Nigeria arrive Curitiba ahead of their opening World Cup campaign against Iran. That's on Sports News. Do stay with us.